So, do any of you guys remember Mermaid Memories? Hopefully. It's a pretty old series now that I started on my channel a while ago, and I completed it I think last year or the year before. And I thought I'd make a tier list of all the characters and then pop in some cheeky behind the scenes and stuff that didn't get added into the series as like a 2020 special, I suppose. Unless you guys want like a 2020 special. If you don't know what a tier list is, you basically take the criteria of what's on the bottom for this thing. It's the Mermaid Memories characters, and we're gonna rank them from S to D. S is supreme S rank. Then A, B, C, D. No one wants to be D. There's gonna be some Ds. And if you enjoy this and want me to do it for other things, like other LPS series maybe, could make it like a sub-series like I did with the In a Nutshell thing, that could be cool. We'll see how it rolls. So let's dive straight in. First up, we have Ashley. Now Ashley is a strange one to start on. I don't want to give any spoilers. If you haven't seen the series and want to watch the series, probably watch the series before you watch this video. I'm gonna keep this as spoiler free as I can up until like the last episode. I think it was a two-parter, I can't really remember. I'm not gonna include info from the very last episodes, but there's gonna be stuff from the rest of it, like 10 episodes. There's gonna be spoilers, so if you haven't seen my memories before and you plan on watching it, maybe watch the series first and watch this after as like a little cheeky special things behind the scenes ranking the pets and stuff. Cool. So Ashley, we all know what happens to her in season 2. Well, you should do. She deals with some self-confidence issues. Her best friend is starting to flake away and she's like, whoa, what do I do? My best friend was my life. And I'm not gonna spoil the rest. Ashley I really did like, and there wasn't really space in season 1. There's a bit of a time skip from the mid-season finale and then the rest of the series, so I'm gonna mark that as part 1. So in part 1, Ashley didn't really have much development because there just wasn't time and space for that. It was more of Gabby centralized in that part, and then Ashley was for part 2, I guess. A very fun, happy-go-lucky lad. And I kind of wanted that contrast to suddenly hit in part 2 of her being a not so happy lad. And I quite like how that went out. A lot of people were quite unhappy with how I dealt with Ashley. But I might change her to A. You know, I'm gonna be savage with this. Ashley isn't my favourite character. I find her a little bit forgettable, but I like how she was executed. So Ashley's B. Doesn't mean I don't like her. I'd say C rank is ones where I'm kind of like, eh. So B, yeah. We're gonna be feisty with these. Opal's dad, the king of the sea. I don't know. He was just, I'm the dad and here's the plot point for this episode. I still can't do his voice. He has like a very like, Opal. Oh. He was good as a plot device. He's a king. Next up we have, how do I word this without spoilers? We have a fusion. I think the fusion is a part 2 of the series thing. It's a fusion of Opal and an elderly male cat. I don't want to give spoilers because I think his kind of jig is revealed in the last episode, but it's not like a major thing. Yeah, because season 2 was like saving Opal the whole thing, and then it was focused more on the other characters. I love the other characters. I mean, Opal's great, but damn, it was so great to get her out of the series for like half of it. Because Opal was part 1. That's all it was. It was Opal in the world. I wanted to like, bing, and then make it Kiara in the world. I also think it was nice to have the contrast of Kiara in the world, like she grew up in a cave, and then there's Opal in the world who grew up in a castle. It's weird to see that they have a similar perspective on the human world just because they're both from the same world. Like it's wholesome and I love them. So this I don't like him. Them. The one thing I did like about this character is the dynamic of the fusion, but they were in like the white spooky room area. That was really nice. But apart from that, nah. Okay, then we got Hannah. We got a main character. Now Hannah is an interesting one because she's the character that links the mermaid stuff to the human world and all the characters in the human world. Hannah was really close friends with Gabby when they were kids, and then that links Ashley and her brother into all, like, it's a big thing. Hannah was just that artsy girl, the quiet kid in school who just wants to vibe, but she just doesn't really have many friends. And then when she gets a friend, Gabby gets a bit jealous. As you do. I don't know. Regardless of how much she helped the storyline chug along, I'm putting her in B. She didn't add that much to the story. She added another element of shipping, I guess. There was that kind of love triangle and the awkwardness between her and Noah of, like, clearly they both like each other, but, like, it's wholesome. I like Hannah, but not a lot. She's a sweet girl, but I like my characters spicy. Then we have Kiara, the baddest girl of them all. Woo 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 woo. We love Kiara. Kiara is amazing. Kiara is like, God, how do I do her voice? Opal. Kiara is the baddest girl in Mermaid Memories. It's really weird to do her voice because it doesn't come up from your nose. It comes from like here, like Opal, Kiara. Like it has a rasp to it, but it's not a rasp from down here. Strange one, but I like it. Kiara is reformed baddie. I love me some reformed baddies. They're like my favorite type of character. I also love the contrast of her and Opal. They're very good. She goes from the huntress to the knight in shining armor. We stand a Kiara. So she is therefore S tier. I could ramble on about Kiara for a while, and I won't do that. Opal and Kiara are canon. I'm saying it here. I wanted to make it obvious in the finale, but I didn't think those two were the type to like flaunt their relationship. They just want to like vibe on land together and then make their pearls and have their jewelry shop in the time skip. But yeah, they're like roommates with a romance, you know? Because also they're from under the sea. They don't care about human things like marriage and kids, and they're just vibing. So Opal, I love Opal. I love how what's the word? I guess dopey? Naive. I love how naive she is, even though like she knows she's got all these duties and stuff, and she's just yeet. I love Opal, but she's not a Kiara, so therefore Opal goes A. Then we get to Noah. I rambled about Noah a little bit in my previous video. Yeah. To the point where I forgot Noah's name. I called him Sage. Noah, his whole point was to kind of bring Gabby down to earth when she needs to be. And he did a good job of that. He's meant to be the rich kid that doesn't like to brag. He has his nice video games, he has his things, but he doesn't have the need to like spend money, brag about himself, or be like, haha, I'm popular. He's just a guy from a wealthy family. That's what Noah is. But I feel like for his character, maybe I should have given him another personality trait apart from being the humble rich kid, you know? His whole zhuzh was just the love triangle of Hannah, so for that reason. But he wasn't a bad character. But he's just very, very forgettable. He's going in C. Okay, then we get on to Mist. Prince Mist. He was the guy that Opal was originally going to be betrothed to by her father, and then she was like, nah, I'm out, and then ran away. And Mist is 10 million times more naive than Opal. He comes in part 2, like on the mainland, and he's like, yo, 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 I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. He doesn't really know what love is. He thinks he's in love with every cute cat he sees, and then he's like, I'ma date you, I'ma date you, I'ma marry you, and we're gonna be king of the seas together, because he's a prince. He has never had a relationship. He has never seen anything outside his castle, really. Whereas Opal, she had ran away for a while and she had seen the seas, and then she's like, you know what, I'm done with the seas, I'm gonna go on land. But for him, he's a weird one, isn't he? I don't think he's D, he's definitely C. I think he's very similar to Noah in a way. I mean, I guess he is in the family now. Wink. Okay, then we're moving on to Vilia. Vilia is like top tier villain. I think I got a little bit of inspiration her from like Mother Gothel from Tangled. She's like one of my favorite villains because she is very self-driven, and we love a solid villain. She just wants to be powerful, and once she's hit like the next level of power, she wants more. So Vilia had just been a strong mage, right? And she worked her way up through the castle, and then she became Opal's teacher for magic. And then she just got really, really strong and kind of did her thing, and was Vilia. Doing this with no spoilers is so hard. And then once that happened, Vilia just really wants to be king of the seas. She has the power. She's yeah, but she's also got this secret. She's got a daughter living in a cave, and she doesn't care about Kiara, her daughter. But she's training Kiara to kind of be her minion, which is like another level of evil. Like, I don't know, very manipulative, very sneaky. Yeah, like, I don't know. There isn't a good bone in Vilia's body, even if she pretends. I love villains, but Vilia is just so unlikable for all the bad things she's done during the whole series. I'm putting her here. I'm not putting her there because she has like backstory and reasoning, but she's just a very unlikable villain for the fact that she's like, I don't know. Then we have Gabby. We'll end this off on Gabby. Oh, of course we have to. A lot of people I noticed didn't like Gabby, but maybe that's because they only watched like the first few episodes and stopped. In part 1, it shows more of Hannah's sides of things, where Gabby is this popular girl who just is like, haha, I'm so rich, look at me buying all this stuff. But it kind of, as part 1 goes on, it turns on to more of like, she does spending sprees to deal with her like brain goes vert, you know? Gabby she wants to be happy, and if she can find minute happiness in like being popular, buying things, then that's good for her. But she's a little bit of a stinker sometimes. But when it goes into part 2, you can definitely see her trying to like change her ways and be a bit more like her brother. So in part 2, we take out the rude qualities of Gabby and just replace that with like her just being a bit of a blabbermouth sometimes. You know, I'm putting her at the front of B. A lot of people hate Gabby, and I kind of hated Gabby for a bit too, but I think putting her here is because I got to play the role of Gabby when in part 2, when she's like crying and just having her breakdown. You kind of got to see the change from this rude girl on episode 1 or whatever it was to this kind of like really broken character that just happens to have a lot of money, you know? And I think that's my tier list, I think. Maybe I'll move Hannah here. Maybe? Oh, but I do like Ashley. She was really fun to play. Gabby! Oh, it's weird doing their voices, like...
Gabby, why are you...
What does Ashley say?
You can't put me down on the B tier list.
What does Gabby say? And what was Hannah's voice? I feel like her voice kind of changed a lot. She was like, Opal, you can't come to school. You're not enrolled. And then Gabby was like, Hannah, I can't believe it. Oh, and then Noah, we go like, hey Gab. What was Opal's voice? Was it like... I don't remember Opal's voice at all. Like, as great as Opal is, she's pretty forgettable at the same time just because she wasn't in part 2. So I think that's my tier list. If you would like me to do any more of these videos, obviously I won't be able to go in depth because they're not going to be my series. Let me know. I'd love to do one of like LPS Popular maybe. I don't know. I feel like for my mini series of the In a Nutshell, I kind of ran out of finished series to do it on. Whereas for tier lists, you can put an incomplete series on there. So let me know in the comments if there's any series you want me to tier list, or maybe I could do multiple in one videos if they're like short series. It feels weird to end this video. It kind of feels like I'm ending the series again. But yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your tier would be. Who is your S? Who is your A? I would love to know who your favorite characters are. And yeah, that's that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week in a new video. Bye guys!